From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to color. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
This is a phenomenal bike ride, and I can tell you he's so casual. This is his first time he's ever biked the full 112 miles here in Hawaii. He's never been up to the turn in Harvey. He's certainly been up there today. Doesn't he look...
Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from beautiful St. George, Utah. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spa, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, HOKA, Let's Fly, SFuels, Go Longer, Biostarks.com. Use the code BWB10 for a 10% discount. Quintanaroo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zions Bank, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. A young woman who has had a phenomenal year this year. Nikki Bartlett joins us. How you doing, Nikki?
I'm great. Thanks, Bob. Thank you so much for having me back on.
It's always a treat. And I look at this season, and based on what you went through in the off season, if someone said, you're going to have just a great season, you would have said what?
Oh, yeah. Like, there was a point in February and March, Beck's like, I think I'm going to have to write this year off. And I was like, no, I'm going to St. George in May. And everyone just thought I was mad. But
They thought you were nuts.
Yeah, they thought I was absolutely nuts. So, yeah, to have the season I have, I'm very proud of all of the team behind the scenes putting that together.
So what were you going through? Injuries
I had
and
COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, I had COVID in October. Beck's got it, and we were due to go out to Portugal 70.3 the day after, and I was like, I can't go there because I know I'm going to get it.
Right.
And I did get it, and I was absolutely floored for 2 weeks. And for anyone who knows me, to be sat still for 2 seconds is a nightmare. So I was completely floored, bedridden for 2 weeks, and then all these really weird. Like I started to get a bit of like high hamstring issues, then that went, and then it just went really neural on one side. Then it was like going all the way down to my foot, and it was just I couldn't run. I think I took like 12 weeks off running, but then it was like a rehab back from that as well. So it's like a good 16 weeks, 10 weeks off cycling. I think 4 or 5 of those weeks were completely off in total. And so I was just swimming basically.
So basically your fitness was from swimming.
Yeah, really just swimming along.
But you probably improved the heck out of your swimming.
I did improve my swimming. And it also helps because obviously it's not just for swim, it's also to then bike to your potential.
Right.
So if you're more swim fit, you can
you're not as fatigued coming out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. So I've worked on that. This year's gone well so far.
You think so? Yeah, and I like your race at Ironman Germany, going 9:05 there, getting second there. That was awesome. And then St. George Worlds. Look at that, getting 13th at St. George Worlds. So the variety, and then still having the speed to go in Portugal just recently and getting second place there with, what'd you say, those 21?
There was 21 women. Yeah, it was amazing. It was fantastic to have such a deep start list. And it was really competitive. I came off the bike with, I biked my way to the front and then came off the bike with like 6, 7, 8 of us.
Yes.
I've never come off the bike with like such a big group. And everyone went off so hard, and I don't race with a watch, and I was like, what is going on? But I managed to just hold my own and then come back into second. So I was very proud of that performance. And then Dresden was like mid-September,
and that was second as well.
That was second, but I feel very fortunate to have experienced those 2 races, because Dresden, we thought the race was going to get completely cancelled. Like we woke up and we were like, what is that noise? And it was such heavy rain.
Oh my God.
And the air temperature was 5 degrees, and we got down to race start and there was no one there. Yeah. And we were like, oh, it's cancelled. Like, what's going on?
Where's that race?
And Pex went up to the race director and was like, oh, is it cancelled? And he was like, no. He goes, I might shorten the swim, but it's definitely not cancelled. And we're like, it's freezing and it's pouring down rain, and it stayed that way until the run. So it's on my Wahoo, it said it was an average of 5 degrees, minimum 3 degrees, and it did not stop raining the whole bike. So that has prepped me now because the weather's changed.
Did you have enough clothing?
I don't think you can you?
No, you really, especially when it's wet.
Like that the whole time on the bike.
Oh my God!
And
were your feet totally numb when you started to run?
I literally, and then to the point that when I was dismounting the bike at Dresden, and then we had some friends on the side who had the funny experience of witnessing what I did, I thought my feet were out of my shoes. That's how delirious I was. and I went to swing my leg around to get off the bike. My feet were still in my shoes.
Oh my God.
I hadn't even taken my feet out of my shoes, so I then had to do like this track stand to then be like, oh my God, I need to undo and put my foot on top, do the same with the other foot, and then swim my leg over. It was, and then I got into T2. I wasted over a minute in T1 trying to put clothes on because I thought I'll DNF if I don't. And then into T2, I was like, I can't feel my body and put socks and shoes on, and so wasted a load more time there. So, and then Portugal, it was in the Atlantic Sea. It was absolutely freezing. They said it was 16, and I think that was a lie. It was freezing in there. So those 2 races have prepped me well.
I was going to say, so you were out swimming today.
So we went swim this morning. It wasn't too cold in the water, like I ideally like it warmer. But when you get out, it's just like ice cold straight away.
Well, see, that's the thing is people, a lot of times, I think when we did Ironman Wisconsin, it was raining, 55 Fahrenheit, but the water was warmer. Well,
that's it.
The water was warmer. So in the water it was fine. You come out and you're shivering.
Well, that's it, and it'll be really interesting to see what people do in T1 because I've witnessed people DNF in conditions like that, and
no question,
or that you just can't apply the power properly on the bike because you're just shivering.
Right.
So it'll be really interesting to see what people put on or not put on, and then some people just don't mind the cold anyway. I don't particularly like the cold.
Well,
but
you have no body fat.
But
you want to rent some from me, I can loan you some body fat for the weekend.
I know what to put on to keep me warm, so definitely gloves.
You better have gloves.
Have gloves on.
Gloves, and like you said, but the aero helmet does keep you warm because there's not holes in there.
Yes, the helmet will keep you warm. I'm very thankful to have those experiences leading into this race because we actually I went to Lanzarote to do heat prep because I thought it was going to be boiling hot. And I was like, this is great. It's plus 30 degrees every day in Lanzarote. I'm getting heat prepped here. And then we came here and it was still warm.
Yes,
and then suddenly,
was.
like the last couple of days, it was all
So it's just been the last few days because you've been here for how long?
So we've been here now nearly a week.
Okay. So all of a sudden, temperature. Well, of course, it's late October.
Yeah.
Here in this is the desert. It gets cold.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, very quick. As you found out. So, and the water temperature seemed like when we were here in May, the water kept seeming like it's getting warmer every day.
Yeah.
Here it's getting colder.
Yeah, because in May it was like 14 degrees, and I couldn't stay in the water for more than 20 minutes, and I was genuinely worried about how I was going to do like an hour of swim.
But then it got warmer.
But then literally overnight it went to 17. It was very weird.
Yeah.
I got in and I was like, oh, this is warm.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, weird.
That's what happens out here. And with this area, you love this area.
I love it. I literally love this place so much.
Yeah, well, you got a great homestay.
A fantastic homestay, and for us, that's what makes the sport. Like we're part of like their family now and friends.
Do they come visit you?
And we're trying to get them to come visit us next because obviously we've been 3 times in 1 year, so starting to outstay our welcome a bit. But no, like they are absolutely amazing. They look after us so well. And to be honest, if they for their generosity and kindness, that's what got us here last year because when we were pricing everything up, I was like, Bex, it's going to cost like £7,000. Ridiculous. And then they kindly put us up. But it was like instant connection, family feel. So we're just so blessed in this sport to meet so many amazing people.
Was it hard for you? I mean, because I think your 13th would have got you to Kona, right?
Yeah, so I qualified for Kona at World Champs this year, and then I would have done at Frankfurt had I not.
But Frankfurt got you as well. But
I took it here because at the time I hadn't qualified for this race.
Okay.
And then I qualified in Marbella, and then we kind of just went to see how the season went. Frankfurt went really well. Yeah. I think I posted one of the faster run times on that course. But it was a hard decision, like weighing up, because like there's only Lucy and Kelly who are backing up Kona in this race. Like we're just so close together. Whereas next year Finland is in August.
Right. And that's normally 70.3 is before.
Yeah, and
Kona.
like I don't mind heat, but heat and humidity like is
together is bad combo.
It's just grim. So I need to prep really well for that. So I can't just blag it and go.
Right.
And then I got COVID again in August.
Wait, you got it a second time?
Yeah. So I got back from. I didn't feel great in Edmonton. Like not ill. I just was like I just don't feel right. And I got back, and then I got COVID, and I was like, I don't know at what point I got COVID on the way there, back or whenever. And that was like mid-August, and we were doing the calculations, and that kind of just like completely sealed the deal. And And yeah, I need to go and prepare for Kona and like do like a block of like
right. You have to be
8 weeks or something
in Hawaii.
in those conditions.
Yes.
Throughout the year. So like for next year, if I went to Kona, I'd go like May-ish time into heat and humidity, come back out of it, and then do another prep leading into the race. Like you have to really, you can't just go to Kona and just like try and blag it. It's just not going to work.
No.
And then I love this race so much that I really wanted to target this race. So I was really passionate about qualifying for this race, and I'm glad because I didn't have a great day here in St George, and then 2 weeks after was Marbella, and I could just hear everyone be like, she is mad going to do a 70.3 off world champs, off jet
you
lag.
won it.
But yeah, I did. I won it, thank God. So then it qualified me for this race. But yeah, so you can just turn a bad race into a good race.
But wait, so a bad race, you mean getting 13th place?
It's a hard one. I just didn't perform to how I thought. And I know people will be like, oh, it's because you had a winter off. But I did not come here to not compete.
Of course.
So
if you're in the starting line.
You don't go to World Champs just to jog around.
No. You don't. It's like not like somebody goes to Kona and says, I'm training through this for Florida or Arizona. No, you're there.
I'm not training through this race. I'm purposely not putting another race after this one because I just want to focus on this World Champs. Like I didn't taper particularly in Portugal.
Yes.
But obviously I'm fully tapered for this race, and I'm super motivated to do very well. I came 9th here last year.
Yes.
So obviously I want to try
do a little
better that, obviously.
Well, and what's funny is you were 19th at the PTO Canadian Open, and I know 20th was $5,000. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's good dollars. It's funny when you say I had a good race, I had a bad race. Mm-hmm. Your bad race and 19th at the PTO Canadian Open brings you more dollars than a good race where you got like second or something.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's great that those opportunities are available for us as professionals.
As well, there should be.
Yeah.
And moving forward for next year, I think they're adding more PTO events for next year.
One in Europe, hopefully.
That'd be cool. But
it's really hard as well. That's the juggling act. It's like, came here in May.
Yes.
And then obviously you've got the PTO races, which are all, again, back over this way.
Right.
And then you've got, again, this World Champs back over here, Kona over here. It's like, at some point, you have to be like, I can't keep doing it. And then they're all big championship races. You can't just go to the race, again, to just turn up and train through, because you're just going to get shoved out the back door of the competition now.
There used to be just, you had the Ironman World Championships, the Ironman 70.3 Worlds. And those were like the two biggies. So now you've got Canadian Open, U.S. Open, Collins Cup, potentially Asian Open, South American Open. There's going to be a bunch of those.
Well, exactly. And then you have to qualify for these. So you have to qualify for Worlds. Like, luckily, I've got my qualification for Finland next year, so that's
done.
But then obviously I need to think about qualification for Kona.
Right.
And then racing. So it's like so many, like, for me, I don't think I could do more than 2 Ironmans a year.
That's plenty.
So then you really have to qualify your first one. And then you've got championship races from the PTO. So it's juggling act of like, and then I love European races.
Right.
I want to do those.
Yeah.
And then I just have pure love for races of certain courses. So it's just like
it's a nice position to be in.
Like sometimes, but like position. I was like to Bex, I was like, I don't feel like I'm ready to end my season like this week, like in 4 days.
Because there might be something out there.
Well, I don't want to end my season, but Bex is like, we have to draw a line somewhere. Because that's it. There's just races all the time. So at some point, you just have to have someone else, maybe, especially for me, because I just love racing, to be like, no, we'll stop here. Because I also didn't have a winter last year, so I need to actually get a good winter block this year. So you have to draw a line somewhere. But, there's temptation of, there's Ironman, blah, blah, blah.
Well, but also, when you go through what you went through last year,
it
makes you appreciate that I'm healthy and I can race, so I'm racing.
And it's a good position to come to this race and feel like I can keep racing, because I know that I'm in a really good headspace. I know that I'm fresh and ready to go. Yeah. I feel like, to be honest, I just want the race to be tomorrow. Like, of course. I'm just ready to go now. So I feel like I'm just waiting around, not doing too much, not doing too little, just a bit of ticking over, seeing people like you.
Always a pleasure, Nikki.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great one.
Yeah.
Again, Nikki Bartlett has been a guest. Again, Breakfast with Bob. Beautiful St. George, Utah. Hold on. We will be right